Welcome to Trojan TV. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Elena.
The awards assembly last Friday was so much fun. I loved the light show.
Yeah, I did too, but it was a bummer that Mr. Mead's stuff didn't work out.
Yeah, I know. Students, if you want to see more highlights from the event, head to the link where we have all the exclusive pictures and videos. Now let's get into this week's news and announcements. Congratulations to all of our Students of the Month and the Trojans and the 6th grade wings for winning in last week's award assembly. Remember, tomorrow there is no school because of Good Friday. 8th grade M-STEP will continue Tuesday with social studies. Students, it is imperative you bring a fully charged netbook for this testing session. Congratulations to Olivia Seymour for being the chapter winner of this year's Daughters of the American Revolution essay competition. Olivia has been the DAR chapter winner 2 years in a row. Her essay on national parks will move on to the state level competition. This school season has been very successful for the math counts, who have been dominating in the state level competition. Here are Clayton and Caroline with more.
Backwards, what does it look like? That's really bad. Okay, not really.
East Middle School's Math Counts team is dominating their competitions, taking awards, and reaching the regional and state levels.
Our team this year was phenomenal in that our top 2 teams both went first and second, and we also had 7 of the top 10, and we had 8 of the top 11 people from the whole region were all here from East Middle School, so our team did exceptionally well. Last year we had the champion was one of our 7th graders, Ethan Rowe, and this year the champion for the region, Oliver Phillips, 8th grader. So we have 7th and 8th graders both that succeed very well in the competitions. We qualify for states again this year. We qualified the team plus another individual for states, so 5 people are going to states. And the bottom line is we just had a lot of fun. It was really cool just having a lot of fun and doing that.
Math Counts participants enjoyed the competition and the fun.
One of the real fun things at the tournament, I have to say, was in the countdown round where it's person against person and it's like a game show. You got buzzers and lights and you put up a screen and there's the question and they're timed against each other. And Georgia Heinz moved up 5 places and everybody was just, all the other coaches were looking at each other and all the other athletes looking at each other going, "You go, girl."
Yeah, I was really nervous during the countdown round because you had to sit in front of like everyone that was there.
Usually just during the countdown round at the end because I know, especially if I'm up against one of my friends, because I know how good they are at math and then I know what I'm up against.
Math Counts isn't just a competitive team. There's also a club that meets weekly for any student who want to participate.
You can see this banner here right behind me, which is the club part, and there's different requirements for that. We currently have over 20 students between 7th and 8th grade combined doing the club. We meet at lunchtime and or after school.
This has been Caroline and Clay reporting for Trojan TV.
6th and 7th graders, join Math Counts. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. 7th graders who are interested in going on the 2018 Washington, D.C. trip, there are still spots available. To apply, check your email for an online application or see Mrs. Mackey for details. Also, 7th graders, the 2018 Japan Exchange is also seeking applicants. To apply, check your email or see Mrs. Mackey for an application packet. The cost is $2,300 and the application packet is due on May 15th. Only 3 EMS students can be selected to be part of this exciting opportunity. Our journalism and DMC students are headed to Lansing to compete in the MIPA Spring Awards Conference, where they compete in news, video, and yearbook categories. The competition is scheduled for April 18th, and students are expected to consult with teachers to make up missed work. Our series, Things You May Not Know About Your Teacher, continues with this week's episode on Mrs. Justin, who draws caricatures.
On this segment of Things You Didn't Know About Your Teacher, we caught up with Miss Justin, who draws caricatures.
I've been drawing caricatures since 1984, since my senior year in high school. You know, I think one of the cool things about art is, you know, mastering is kind of a fluid idea. I feel like, I mean, even though I've been drawing caricatures for what, I think this is like 30, I don't know how many years. I feel like I'm still always learning. And that's one of the things I like most about it, is that you never really totally arrive. You just keep getting better and you just keep learning new things.
In addition to caricatures, Miss Justin does other art.
So sometimes it really varies. Sometimes I'm just doing quick black and white sketches for parties. Sometimes I do finished color with bodies. I've drawn I've drawn people doing their hobbies. I've drawn people as superheroes. I've drawn their horses and their dogs and their, and then sometimes I draw caricatures. Sometimes I do serious portraits. Just whatever people want done. And again, that's perhaps what I enjoy most about it, is just that it always changes.
This has been Alex and Daniel reporting for Trojan TV.
Our first track meet of the season is at East starting at 4 p.m. this Monday, April 17th. Come support your fellow Trojans at this invitational against GTA, Suttons Bay, Glen Lake, and Pathfinder. Don't forget that East is offering free after-school tutoring for math and reading. See your counselor for more details. East has recently started using FaceTime to help kids who are in school suspension stay up to date on their classes. Here's Sydney and Sophia with more on the story.
The RTC room can be a helpful place for students to refocus. However, the students who spend a fair amount of time in there can easily fall behind. Now there is a new technology to help with this problem.
So there's 2 laptops. One of them goes to the student's class and the teacher can open it up and it live streams a video and audio of what's going on in class to the in-school suspension room with Mr. Boyajian.
What we're trying to do is get where kids are coming in here all day for an in-school suspension, where they have the opportunity to not miss a directed teaching day.
It helps so you don't have to go from class to class asking what you're gonna do.
Recording any questions you have in the margin and squiggly underline.
One reason the FaceTime was created is to help students stay up to date in their classes.
The average GPA, grade point average, for an East Middle School student is about a 3.3. But when I look at the kids who've been in school suspension, the GPA on the average is only a 2.3. And so we're taking students who are already falling behind, taking them out of class because they've been disruptive or haven't followed directions, and it's causing them to fall further behind.
I think it's helpful because during that hour, during that class period, they have a very specific focus. They're logged in to watch the instructor at that time.
I think when technology is used really well, I think it's a wonderful tool to help not only the kids, but obviously in our society that we're living in now.
Students and staff are excited for the opportunities the FaceTime offers.
I prefer the FaceTime because it minimizes the need for that student to ask me a question later.
I do think it will end up helping because students will be able to actually see their teachers and get the same instructions with the exact wording and everything.
I think that keeps them focused on that particular class that they're working on, and I think that it's going to make them not miss as much work.
This has been Sydney and Sophia reporting for Trojan TV. Well, that concludes this episode of Trojan TV.
You can follow Trojan TV and the DMC on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by searching @EastDMC.
And don't forget to check out additional DMC and newspaper coverage on our website, The Link.
We are leaving you with Mrs. Steele's 7th grade science class that learned about the layers of the earth.
Have a great holiday weekend, Trojans.
Bye.
Bye.
This program was powered by Hackerty, feeling passion for cars by giving young people cool car experiences.
For this week's Classroom Spotlight, we caught up with Mrs. Steele's science class, where they were doing a project on the layers of the earth.
I had offered the kids an extra credit opportunity to model the layers of the earth. And so they had to design a model, a 3D model, and bring it in, and they had to label the layers and then give some information about each of Earth's layers. I chose it because it gives kids an opportunity to become very engaged in what we're doing. There was a lot of excitement around getting to build a 3D model, especially since a lot of kids chose an edible version that we got to eat afterwards, so that was always exciting. But I made it extra credit so that way students had the choice of whether they wanted to do it or not.
It helped us to prepare for the test, and it was an extra credit, so we got extra points for it. And that you can make the models a bunch of different ways.
The state of matter is the solid and the temperature is...
Mrs. Steele chose this activity to help the students understand the layers of the earth.
I wanted them to learn that models take many different shapes and forms, and models are used in science to help us better understand things or to represent things in a more simplistic way. And especially models built individually can help deepen their understanding because it was a creative way that they stored that information. First of all, it was yummy, and we got lots of treats, but mostly because students, I think, will remember this, and they were very, very excited to participate in it, and I received a lot of emails from parents and kids just really excited to get to do an activity or a project like this.
This has been Audrey and Elise reporting for Trojan TV.